And today, obviously, the AFC North. So let's kick this thing off in B-more. The Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens in 2023 went 13-4, obviously first seed in the NFL.
Damn.
Number 4 in points for, 6 in yards for, 21 in passing yards, and first in rushing yards, which is kind of crazy because they decided in the AFC Championship to only run 6 times.
And then they said, you know what? We're going to get a guy. But we'll talk about that later.
That's right. In terms of their defensive rankings, they're first in points allowed, 6 in yards allowed, 6 in pass defense, and 14 in rush defense. In terms of the free agency, their key losses. Patrick Queen, linebacker, signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Damn.
Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end, signed with the Carolina Panthers. He went back to his hometown.
Good for him.
Geno Smith, safety, signed with the division rival Cincinnati Bengals. What's this about with so far 2 of their key losses stayed in the division? It's kind of nuts.
Can I stop you? Geno who?
I was just say.
Oh, Geno Stone, my bad.
Yeah, not Geno Smith, brother. Come on. Geno Smith turned safety? Insane.
Fuck it.
All right, Geno Stone, yeah. Anyways, I guess they just got the most capital. They said, fuck the team, don't care if it's a rival. I'm getting my money.
Like a couple months ago, we were like talking about like that might be the theme of the offseason because there was a lot of players that went to the division.
There was a lot.
Who else? Their key losses were Ronald Darby, cornerback, signed with the Jaguars, as well as their wide receiver Devin Duvernay. Gus Edwards, running back, signed with the LA Chargers. Odell Beckham signed with the Miami Dolphins.
Good for him.
J.K. Dobbins also is a Los Angeles Charger.
I wouldn't have even signed him. Sorry.
Who? J.K. Dobbins?
Yes. He's injured every year.
That's what it seems like, at least, bro. I mean,
so if he gets injured, just cut him. Just,
you know, this is
sorry about it.
But how about that running back room in L.A.? The Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, Ravens too.
Essentially, I mean, I think
didn't they steal their
Chargers
OC too?
They got their OC Greg Roman.
Yeah, so
I guess it makes sense. But their key additions. The king himself, Derrick Henry.
Top running backs with the top running team, yeah.
It's going to be dangerous, especially him running behind Patrick Card, 300-pound fullback. Yeah, that's going to be something.
Yeah. Between him and Lamar, who's running it? I don't know, one of them.
That's going to be tough. They also added Josh Jones, offensive tackle from the Texans. Deontay Hardy, wide receiver from the Bills.
Ooh, sneaky.
So some key additions on the offensive end. In terms of their draft, first round, they added Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson, 30th overall.
Good pick.
Roger Rosengarten, offensive tackle from Washington, second round, 62nd overall.
Needed that.
Adesanya Isaac, defensive end, Penn State, third round, 93rd overall. Devontae Walker, a key name. I think he's going to be one of the most impactful rookies this upcoming season.
He better be good at blocking.
Wide receiver out of North Carolina in the fourth round, 113th overall. And then as well as TJ Tampa, another cornerback out of Iowa State, in the fourth round, 130th overall. But a little bit about Devontae Walker. I think, like, obviously he's one of the better weapons for Drake May in North Carolina. I think he went through that whole thing where NCAA didn't let him play for a couple months or something, or a whole season. I think it was him.
It was him?
Yeah, from UNC. I forget the reason being, but it was bullshit nonetheless.
Okay.
But I think he's going to have he's going to turn some heads, man, because obviously they lost Odell Beckham. They lost Devin Duvernay. Looking to, for some guys to step up. Obviously, they got Zay Flowers.
Dog.
I don't even know who else off the top of my head. Rashad Bateman they still got. So, I mean, Devontae Walker might come in and play a pivotal role for the Ravens this upcoming season. But, yeah, man. What do you think about the Ravens offseason?
It's like the guys they lost will hurt, but the guys they picked up definitely going to help. Like, they're still going to be one of the top teams in the league, especially with Derrick Henry.
The offense, they can run the Madden cheese play read option every time.
Every time.
They can run it every time.
Again, who's going to run the ball? I don't know. It doesn't matter, though.
They were at the QB spy and get a running back spy.
So the win total for the Baltimore Ravens is 11.5. For the over is plus 132 and the under is minus 162 as it stands today. I forget what their schedule is looking like. I'm sure it's going to be one of the tougher ones since they were the number 1 seed last year. 11.5, bro. You think
Over. Easy.
Easy, he says.
Easy.
By the wait and see. But on to Cincinnati, as Bill Belichick would like to say.
The Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals, 9-8. Obviously, Joe Burrow got hurt earlier in the season. Had Jake Browning fill in for him. And the 9-8 record got them last in the division, which is insane. I mean, that speaks volumes to the AFC North, bro.
That's the winning record for the NFC South. Insane.
Yeah. In terms of their offensive rankings, they were 16 in points for, 22 in yards for, 15 in passing yards, and 31 in rushing yards.
Those should go up this season.
I mean, Joe Burrow's coming back from his injury. We'll see. But in terms of their defensive rankings, 21 in points allowed, 31 in yards allowed, 28 in pass defense, and 26 in rush defense. Their key losses in free agency, as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, Joe Mixon, the running back, was traded to the Houston Texans. Awuzie, cornerback, signed with the Tennessee Titans.
Big loss.
Jonah Williams, offensive tackle, signed with the Cardinals. They've had massive losses here. They also lost DJ Reader, defensive tackle, signed with the Lions, which is an interesting pickup for them.
Good pickup for them.
And then Tyler Boyd, their wide receiver, signed with the Tennessee Titans.
Goes back with his OC.
Yeah, man. Major losses for them. But in terms on the flip side of their key additions, they got Sheldon Rankings, defensive tackle, to replace DJ Reader.
Sure.
Houston Texans. As we mentioned, Geno Stone.
There you go.
Safety from the Baltimore Ravens. Added my boy, Zach Moss from the Indianapolis Colts. Running back to replace Joe Mixon. Trenton Brown, offensive tackle, signed with the Patriots. Mike Gesicki signed from the New England Patriots as well. And then they brought back Von Bell, safety from the Carolina Panthers.
Okay. So
interesting duo. Like, that's not a bad duo, Geno Smith and Von Bell.
So they don't trust their safeties they have now. They replaced the defensive tackle.
What?
They're giving Zach Moss a chance, which he has.
Did you say Geno Smith again?
Did I say Geno Smith?
No, you said Geno Smith.
You said Geno Smith.
No, he said Geno Stone.
Geno Stone. Don't be trying
I could have heard you just said Geno Smith.
My bad if I did. But nonetheless, some good-ass additions there.
I mean, Trenton Brown, yeah. More help on the line, which they needed.
And obviously, the secondary is one of the Bengals' weak spots last season. Obviously, they were 28th in pass defense. So,
and then hopefully Mike Gesicki will be a good tight end again.
Yeah, man. But in terms of their draft, Amarius Mims, offensive tackle out of Georgia, first round, 18th overall.
Needed that.
Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle out of Michigan, second round, 49th overall. Jermaine Burton, a sneaky pick for them, wide receiver out of Bama. Don't get pissed about nothing but the Tiger. Third round, 80th overall. And then McKinley Jackson, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, third round, 97th overall. Obviously made a bunch of other key picks in terms of the positions of need. What do we think of the Bengals offseason, man? They had a solid draft. Obviously lost some key additions some key losses in free agency, but made some massive additions. What do you think?
I don't know. This is one of the teams I just don't know. I don't have a read on them.
I mean, I'll tell you what. If there was one team that has a good shot from going worst to first, Cincinnati Bengals were at the top of my list. I mean, yeah, you obviously got Joe Burrow coming back, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You could argue top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Coming off, I believe, is his wrist.
Yeah.
So it could be a big season for the Bengals because obviously Jamar Chase is on his contract season.
What?
T. Higgins, who requested a trade, actually. We'll see what happens there.
What?
But knowing the Bengals' history and how stubborn they are with their ownership when it comes to money,
see ya.
He gonna be playing for them this year.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a doubt that I just don't see him trading him.
I was just saying after this season, but
Well, after this season, yeah, they're probably not going to pay him
Yeah.
unless he just has this breakout fucking season.
which because I feel like it's one or the other. No way they keep both.
It's going to be tough for sure.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I don't see T. Higgins going anywhere just yet.
Yeah, not this season.
And then they replaced Joe Mixon with another solid running back in Zach Moss. He's been productive, at least it's just more of recently. He couldn't find his way in Buffalo, but once he got to Indianapolis, when JT was out, he filled in perfectly. Earned himself a good ass contract. I think they signed him on like a 3 or 4 year deal.
My only thing is, he's like a different style of running back, so I don't know how well that's going to mesh with what they got going on. Again, good running back, but I just don't know.
It's definitely
about their
interesting
scheme.
because obviously the league is trending towards like a 3 running back room. Just cycle through different running backs. So I mean, obviously you got your JTs, you got your Saquon Barkleys, you got your Derrick Henrys and all that. But overall around the league, even in Detroit, I mean, they got Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best running backs in the league. They still split touches with David Montgomery. So it's like
You got to make it work.
So behind Zach Moss, I think it's like Chase Brown. They got another guy too. I forget his name, but
Apparently, he's not that good if you remember.
But you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Running back room, they're cycling through different guys. So he could be a good fit. We will see. But I definitely think they made up on paper, at least, for their losses on the defense. Obviously, DJ Reader's a big loss. We'll see what happens with Trey Hendrickson, as he also requested a trade, which came out of left field.
Yeah.
We know they're probably not going to end up getting rid of him, but who the hell knows? I like the
Right.
Jermaine Burton pick because obviously we don't know what's going to happen with T. Higgins in the future. So Jermaine Burton, we'll see what he could do in this role. Obviously, I think he's going to get some playing time this year.
Take Tyler
because Tyler Boyd's gone, so it's going to be interesting, man. Their win total is at 10.5. Over at -1. Well, -134. I thought they said -194. I'm like, holy shit. Under 10.5 wins is set at +110 at plus money.
See,
So the books expect the Bengals to have a comeback season for sure.
I would like to say yes, but again, that division is tough.
I had some spare time this weekend. I ran like one of those season simulators.
I'm about to ask you about that because I never remember to save it. So maybe after, if you want to send it to me.
I didn't save it, but I do have the Bengals making the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Not going to say what seed because it's going to give away my once we do the pundits playbook again this summer.
Guys, he has them number 1 seed in the AFC. He just said it. He just said it.
But yeah, we'll see what the Bengals do. But moving on here. Let's head down to the land of the Browns. Finished 11-6 last season in terms of their offensive rankings. 11 in points for, 16 in yards for, 19 in passing yards, and then 12 in rushing yards. Obviously,
very middle in the pack.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to
staying
think they had a
afloat.
few different quarterbacks they had to run through, different running backs. So, I mean, it's still not a bad season, especially finishing 11-6. I mean, that speaks to their depth on their team. So, in terms of their defensive rankings,
Carried.
pretty fucking solid. 14 in points allowed, 1 in yards allowed, 1 in pass defense, and 11 in rush defense. So,
Absolutely carried them.
defense essentially got them to the promised land. But in terms of their losses in free agency, Jordan Elliott, defensive tackle, signed with the Niners, which of course he did. I mean, they somehow get all the good defensive tackles.
Yep.
Sion Taki, linebacker, signed to the New England Patriots. Michael Ford, cornerback, signed with the Houston Texans. Joe Flacco, quarterback, signed with the Colts. Harrison Bryant, tight end, signed with the Vegas Raiders. Anthony Walker Jr., linebacker, signed with the Dolphins. Kareem Hunt is still a free agent, which we'll see what happens there. He could be one of those veteran pickups, later in training camp, just in case someone goes down or what have you. It was almost a similar situation last year when he was a free agent, but he ended ended up going back to the Browns.
Will probably be the same then.
Maybe, depending on how this Nick Chubb situation goes. But in terms of their additions, they got Jerry Jeudy. They traded from the Denver Broncos. Easily their wide receiver 2, right behind Amari Cooper there. Picked up Jordan Hicks, linebacker from the Vikings. And how about this? Our guy,
Yeah.
Dubman himself, Jamo Winston, quarterback from the New Orleans Saints.
QB1.
Potentially, we'll see.
By the those W's.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know about in Cleveland, but we'll see.
Yes.
Quentin Jefferson, defensive tackle from the Jets. My guy, Nyheim Hines, running back from the Buffalo Bills, who obviously couldn't play last season due to off-field jet ski incident.
Sorry.
Hoping for a comeback there for our guy. Also, Devin Bush, linebacker from the Seahawks. They brought in another division rivalry guy who previously played for the Steelers before the Seahawks.
Yep.
Justin Hardy, cornerback from the New York Jets. And another quarterback, surprisingly, Tyler Huntley from the Baltimore Ravens.
Snoop.
I think they put themselves in position,
Just in case.
just in case another like Deshaun Watson goes down again. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen 3 different quarterbacks play for him last year: DTR, Joe Flacco, and PJ Walker.
Didn't he just get signed?
Yes, I forget where though,
I also forgot.
but nonetheless, we'll see what happens. It could be. It's crazy to say with the contract Deshaun Watson has. It could be a quarterback battle down there. In terms of the Browns draft, they didn't have a first-round pick. Obviously, it was sent over to Houston, and that Deshaun Watson deal. They picked up Michael Hall, defensive tackle out of OH. Ohio State in the second round, 54th overall. Zach Zinter, guard out of Michigan, 3rd round, 85th overall.
Good pick.
Jamari Thrash, that's how you say it? Jamari Thrash, wide receiver out of Louisville, 5th round, 156 overall.
What a thrasher.
Nathaniel Watson, linebacker, Mississippi State, in the 6th round, 206 overall. What are we thinking for the Browns offseason, man? Came off a pretty impressive season for all the losses that they had.
Not bad though, but nothing crazy.
And like I said, we'll see what happens with Nick Chubb. Obviously, the gruesome injury against the Steelers last year. He's still trying to bounce back from that.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I hate to say it, his career is going to look a little different after this injury.
No. Better than ever.
We'll see, bro. In terms of their win totals, the books have it set at 8.5, which is kind of crazy coming off of 11-6 season. And not really changing much on the team.
Yeah, I'm going to say over.
Made some key additions.
I'm going to say over just because of their defense.
So the over 8.5 is at -138. Under would be at +112. So
Over.
interesting. It's going to be an interesting season for the Browns.
Yes, it is. Let's go.
Moving on, it looks like to our last team in NFC North.
Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers finished 10-7, snuck into the wild card, got absolutely washed by the Buffalo Bills in the wild card game. Mike Tomlin yet again finished with a winning season. I think this is 17th, 18th in a row.
It's something like that. It's
See if the
insane.
streak continues. But in terms of their offensive rankings last season, 28 in points for,
Ugh.
25 in yards for, as well as 25 in passing yards,
Sheesh.
13 in rushing yards.
Decent.
And defensively, they finished 6 in points allowed, 21 in yards allowed, 17 in pass defense, and 19 in rush defense.
I thought it'd be a little better. Their defensive stats.
Hey, man, they, like I said, literally snuck in. And TJ Watt missed quite a few games last season, too.
He did. Makes sense.
And we know when he's not playing, Steelers lose.
Yep.
Simple as that. In terms of their key losses, obviously they traded Kenny Pickett to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Get him out of there.
Backup Mitch Trubisky to the Buffalo Bills.
Bring him back.
Mason Rudolph also. They just clean sweep this quarterback room. Mason Rudolph is a Tennessee Titan. Levi Wallace, cornerback, signed with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
But in terms of their additions, quite the offseason here. Traded for Justin Fields from the Chicago Bears. As we mentioned, Patrick Queen from the Baltimore Ravens, their newest linebacker. They brought in Cameron Johnston, punter from the Houston Texans. Some will call him Bill Burr of the NFL.
Yes.
Brought over Cordell Patterson from
Good
the Atlanta
pickup.
Falcons, along with Artie Smith, who is now their
Great.
new offensive coordinator.
Good pickups right there.
Deshaun Elliott, safety from the Dolphins. Van Jefferson, wide receiver from the Falcons. Quez Watkins, another sneaky pickup from the Philadelphia Eagles. Kyle Allen
They could keep
is
him.
added to this quarterback room as well. And obviously the big one.
No, Scotty Miller.
I do like Scooty Miller. But Russell Wilson, Team 3,
Wow.
is now a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Here we go.
Steelers Nation.
That's right.
Nope. Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh,
Although Let's Steal could have been a good one.
Bad for the brand. Let's steal.
Not good for the kids.
No.
In terms of the draft, they're adding to this offensive line. They got Troy Fatanu out of Washington in the first round, 20th overall. Zach Frazier, center out of West Virginia.
Yeah.
Second round, 51st overall. And another diamond in a rough.
Steelers fashion.
Roman Wilson,
Third round.
wide receiver from Michigan. Third round, 84th overall.
Every time.
Peyton Wilson, one of the highly touted linebackers in this draft, slipped to the third round, 98th overall.
Dog.
Out of NC State. Had himself an impressive combine. Essentially slipped in the draft due to, I believe it was neck injury, something along those lines. Mason McCormick, guard, South Dakota State, in the fourth round, 119th overall. What are we thinking, bro? Pittsburgh Steelers, huh? Why not? Why not the Steelers?
Why not the Steelers? I don't know.
because it's not them.
It's not them. I don't know. They got a lot of good pickups this offseason. Like, I always forget how good they had this offseason. Like, they just went out. They said, you know what? We're missing this. Let's get him. We're missing this position. Guess what? Few of them. I'm excited for them.
Obviously, the question mark really is their wide receiving room. But, I mean, you got George Pickens. You know what he could do. I think Roman Wilson's really going to – I mean, you could easily slot him in as wide receiver 2 in Pittsburgh.
Probably could. And we know how they do.
He's one of those guys, you put it up, he's going to go get it.
For sure.
So
Dog.
that's essentially a perfect wide receiver for Russell Wilson's play style. I don't know, bro. And obviously, if Russell Wilson doesn't work out, we'll see what we got left in Justin Fields, man, because obviously he's on a contract year as well. I'm sure he's still got something left to prove. We'll see, bro. And everyone was calling for him to go to Atlanta Falcons because of Artie Smith and his offense.
And here we are.
Well, here we are.
In Pittsburgh.
Offensive coordinator is now Artie Smith, and they brought Justin Fields in. So we'll see if it's a perfect match or not. But in terms of their win totals on the season, and we know, obviously, Pittsburgh Steelers defense. As long as Mike Tomlin's there, they're always going to be good.
Yeah, for sure.
But in terms of their win totals, they're set at 8.5. Over is plus 126. I might take a flyer on that, to be honest with you.
That's easy.
Then the under is at minus 154. So the books don't anticipate the Steelers to get 9 or more wins this upcoming season.
It has to be 9, at least. Never had a losing
We
season.
want this winning record to streak to continue, and I think it will, just for that sake.
Has to.
Because obviously we see that 9-8 can still get you last in this division.